Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your hosts Edward McQueen and April Garner.
Oh, nothing like being live. But look, the audience doesn't know what we're laughing at, so we want.
They have no idea.
They have no clue. All right.
This is Brother Edward, when you just have a lot to do. When life is lifing. This is what happened when life is lifing. And I hope that everyone who's watching and listening had a wonderful day. I've had a very packed day after a Juneteenth day off.
That's right. It's a good celebration, though.
It was a great celebration and all of that. And so I hope everybody's ready for a great show. How was your day, Brother Edward?
Fine, great. After Juneteenth, hey, what more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for? I'm telling you.
We deserve a break.
Woo! I know. Yeah. And I was telling somebody yesterday, people say, well, we've come so far, and we're good. We didn't know we're not good. We've come a long way, but we have a much longer way to go. And it seems like there's some people who want to take us back, and we're not trying to do that. Not
Absolutely.
at all.
We learn from lessons of the past down in Broward, Florida, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, we learn from those lessons.
Correct.
Not going back.
Not going back. We cannot afford to go back. And so,
it's in our DNA now.
It is.
It's in our DNA.
It's in our DNA to survive, right, and to be warriors and to do what we need to do to be successful. And in order to do that, we have to continue to lean on people who have been there, done that, who can show us the way, who understand what that means in small and large portions, Right.
Absolutely.
So I, for one, appreciate all of the wisdom that I get from my elders, and even the wisdom I'm still pulling from my ancestors. And I think that, if we as a culture will understand how important that is, then we will continue to uphold the traditions, create more traditions, and also preserve the history that, we all are surrounded by, because you can't escape the history. You can't escape it. I don't care how they try. You can't escape it.
Cannot escape that. If we knew it well, we wouldn't have any crime in our communities.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's right. That's
just that.
I mean, we have a much stronger appreciation for our neighbors and our families and our, just everyone. So
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm confident we'll get there.
Yeah. So, and in the spirit of all that we're talking about, I think it's wonderful when we see young people really strive to be successful while they're in school, high school, college, and beyond. And it's even more of, I think, a feeling of just cultural success when you see it happening from your hometown, right?
Absolutely.
So we have some wonderful young men who were just absolute superstars when they were coming through Horry County, doing big things on the gridiron, aspiring to go above and beyond anything they ever imagined, and they made it. And it's wonderful to know that these young men want to come back home and share those, that information, share that wisdom, share that spirit and that energy, share the vibe with young people so they will too prepare for whatever success means to them and has for them in the future. And I think that everyone will appreciate the persons that we have on this evening. We're thrilled to know that they actually had some time in their busy schedules.
Absolutely, man. I don't know how. we got to pat them on the back. Okay, I mean,
I'm telling you,
to find this kind of time, and I can't wait to talk to these brothers. I tell you.
Absolutely. So I see at least two of them are ready to bring onto the screen, and so I'm going to bring on the Booth and Company. Brad Booth, how are you?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
All right. And then I'm going to bring on the one and only Brian Edwards.
Hello. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes. And then Mr. Raekwon O'Neal. How are you?
Raekwon Neal.
Yes. How are you, fellas? How y'all doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. How about yourself?
Yes. I'm doing fine. Yeah. It's great to see y'all.
April, let's stop a minute. Now, is this the Raekwon that was at Conway High?
It may be. Is this the Raekwon that was at Conway High?
The one and only?
One and only.
Is this the Brian Edwards that was Brian? Why don't you tell them who you are?
I'm just me, man. But Conway High with these two guys. Play a little bit of football here and there,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And then Brad, you brought them all together to create Booth and Company. Is that what this is called?
Yeah, so right now that was just like a camp title. It's not
I like
official. But I just had to throw something together. I didn't want to just put me up there and just have people with me. So of course I was gonna put my name, but for right now, just for the one day, it's gonna be Booth and Company. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a pleasure to have all of you. Thank you so much for taking the time and making the time to be here. I have to let you know that the person who actually tipped me off that you all are doing this mini football camp was Bonnie Edie. And she sends me a text and she was like, April, these young men are doing this football camp. You need to have them on. I'm going to talk to them. And I said, okay, yeah, let's hook it up. So when I talked to Brad, and he was like, yeah, let's do this. I said, I think this is wonderful because the community doesn't have the opportunity to really talk to you all because you're busy during football season. You're probably gearing up really soon to get back to business. So, taking this time out is really wonderful, and we really appreciate it. So why don't we start with, of course, I think everybody needs to know what you all are doing beyond high school and college so that everybody can, especially those who don't really know who you are, will understand who you are and why this mini camp exists now. So let's start with Brad, since it's Booth and Company. Let's start with Brad.
Well, everybody know I'm Brad Booth, graduated from Conway in 2017. I went on to Limestone University, played football there, got into strength conditioning. While I was there, I ended up interning there. I did an internship at Furman. I am now working at Lenoir-Rhyne University as one of the strength coaches there on staff. So that's what I'm up to nowadays.
Awesome. And I guess we'll go around the clock. So we're at Brian.
I guess, like you said earlier, my name is Brian Edwards. I played at Conway High School with Brad, but I'm a year older, a grade ahead of him, graduated in 2016. Went on to play at South Carolina for 4 years. Was drafted in the 3rd round by the Raiders. And I currently play for the New Orleans Saints. And this is going to be my 4th year in the league. So,
wow. Yes, that's you. And Raekwon.
All right. So my name is Raekwon O'Neal. I graduated Conway High in 2018. I committed to Rutgers out of high school. I did 4 years there. Got my undergrad in art, a minor in labor studies. Then I grad transferred to UCLA, and I was working on my master's in TCL, which is teaching, coaching, leadership. And then, and now I'm an undrafted free agent with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, all right, Brother Edward.
Yeah, I think, can I just, in retrospect, Brother Raekwon, did we not have you in the magazine one before?
I have no idea. I don't even. I believe that we did.
Yeah, I think. I
believe we did.
Okay.
It was like 10 years ago. I forgot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the name that stood out. Okay.
Quite some time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Brother Edward, now, so you've heard of the roles that these young men are now playing in the NFL. What's your role, Brother Edward? What position do you play?
I play receiver.
Play what?
Brian plays receiver.
Yeah, I play receiver.
Okay. And Raekwon?
I play left tackle.
Left tackle. Brother Edward, you had a little football stint, didn't you? You played?
No, basketball.
You were basketball. Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry about that, brothers. And look, but man, I'm really thrilled about your endeavor that you just decided to be I mean, to have a camp like that. Camp, when you start off with mini camps, that blooms in bigger things, okay? Because you learn so much from a mini camp, you know, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons that you probably thought about just going in and doing that. And being a strengthening coach, you can kind of like transfer some of those things at the camp.
Yeah.
Right. And not just football, but you need to have good strength in order to play football. Yeah. So I'm sure that you were thinking about that.
Yeah. So like when I came up with the idea, I was kind of thinking like me and the guys always talked about somewhere we can get back to the city. And I felt like it wouldn't be right if I just try to do something for myself. So I was like, why not get everybody involved?
Right.
My main role on July 8th is going to be the first part of it's probably going to be a little bit of speed and agility, just something basic for all the participants. And that'd be my role. I feel like that's where I best fit in at. That's my way of work. That's my world. I feel like we can run through a little speed mechanic stuff. And then the football part, I was going to pass off to the experts because I ain't there no more.
Well, yeah, look, that may be a blessing in disguise, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, not being there anymore, but I'm sure you're endeavoring into other things.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where probably the blessing is. You know, this could blossom into something major, man. You know, I don't hear about too many camps around in Horry County like that. You know, so and knowing the fact that you're quote unquote homeboy, you know, then you know a lot of people are gonna a lot of youth anyway should be magneted, you know, to you and attracted to your endeavor, what you're doing now with the minicamp. You know, football is big.
That's definitely, and knowing our area, football is really big. So I felt like it was only right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are the risks involved, other than the monetary investment, if there's any at that?
So when you say risk involved, do you mean playing football, or what do you mean, Brother Edward?
Either way, in order to accomplish what you're going to be doing at this minicamp. Okay, I mean, you just pull it together and you just have a mini camp, or what are some of the factors that you got to pull in?
Well, you got to think about who you're dealing with, the crowd. So that's how I wanted to target. I wanted to target a little bit of the middle school crowd, much of your younger high schoolers, a little bit older high schoolers, kind of in that intermediate range. Only because I felt like that's where we can probably grasp attention most and actually teach, and they can actually learn. So that play, and then also how basic will it be? I did not want this to be an advanced type of camp to where guys are not going to be able to retain information, or they'll go through probably hurt themselves doing something never done before. So it's I don't want it to look at as a waste of time, as to people just come out and have fun and just to see guys that did it before, but actually have a chance to learn. So that's some of the kind of the thought we kind of talked about going to like, you can ask the guys. I messaged them plenty of times. I want y'all to think about the basic things we can teach that it can also enjoy. So they're not only out there and feel like they're being hammered on, but they're also learning and having fun. If that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm here thinking, how long does the camp run? I don't think that's been made clear to me anyway.
We're out here probably about 4 hours, so 10 to 1.
It's a one-day thing.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll be out there for one day. So we'll be out there for one day. Hopefully in the future we can probably talk about multiple days, but because of the day and the guys coming in for that weekend, knowing their busy schedule, I feel like that was only right for now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like you brought all the factors in order for this to be a success. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did a little bit of my research, so I just wanted to make sure we had it right. I wanted to be organized as much as possible.
Right.
Didn't want to be any flaws into it. But mistakes will happen. Like, they're going to happen, you know. So, but I just wanted to protect ourselves as much as I can as far as planning and then organizing the event went. So I took the steps. I think I took the proper steps to be where we are now. I still got some things in the work in the next 2 weeks before the event, so everything's coming together. But definitely definitely thought about everything that plays into playing in the camp for sure.
So now the two players that on here with you, did you guys hesitate? I mean, what did you think when you first approached by Brother Booth there?
Reverend Booth.
I said Brother Booth. Yeah, Brother Booth. Yeah.
For me, it was a no brainer. Like, I've obviously been wanting to do something that I could, give back to, my community. And, it's kind of where I'm going into my 4th year in the league. So, and I'm constantly been moving around and things like that. So I haven't had the time personally to create my own event. So Brad having this event and kind of bringing us all together, I think it was perfect for me to kind of throw my hat in there, because all I got to do is show up and give knowledge to the kids and kind of give them what I know. And then, Brad's obviously handling all the logistics and getting everything organized. So I think it's just a perfect opportunity for the guys who have busy schedules, but, want to give back to the community. So I appreciate Brad for putting this together, and I know it's going to be a great event.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm interested in I know it's all about the athleticism and really showing young people who are interested in football techniques and things like that. But I think when you take a deeper level look at what this really is all about, there's definitely community give back, but there's also some mentoring involved, because I'm sure you both, or all of you, will have a chance to tell your stories. And based on the flyer, there are a couple more people who are going to be involved in this. And so I think it's true that, what they see, they'll be. So it's going to be great for young people in the area. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, yellow, red, or green, to see folks from this area actually doing big things and, living the dream. And so, I want to kind of touch on that, the living the dream part, because I don't know that any of you ever thought that this was going to become your life. I'm sure you aspired to get to this point. I'm sure you prayed that things would work out so that you could get to this point. But, as you were coming through high school, or let's take it on back. As you were coming through elementary, middle, and then high school, and then, looking at the possibility of college, what are some of the things that you think really prepared you all to handle the kind of success that you all have? What are some things, and who are some people who help to ground you so that, now that you're tasting what success is all about, at least, in your eyes and in the eyes of people who have a perception of you as being successful, you can actually deliver a message to them that says, these are some of the things that really helped me to understand how to get to where I am and stay where I am. So what were some of those things, those takeaways?
You want to start it off, Raekwon?
Yeah, I'll start it off.
Start it off.
All right, so for me, first and foremost, I give all praise to God, because I wouldn't be without him, I wouldn't be here in my spot. And second, like my mom, my family around me, my mom, my grandma, and not only them, but the coaches that was in my life growing up and still in my life now. I want to name them: Coach Moody, Coach Wayne, Coach Ron, Coach Darrell. All of them, like, they were my rec league coaches, and they was also my AAU basketball coaches growing up. And they was like a mentor to me as well, because I didn't have a father growing up. So having them in my life as a father, not only as a father figure, but as a coach and as a mentor, they guided me, gave me words of wisdom, helped me believe in myself, and so I could have that confidence when I go out there on that field and know that I'm the best player in my mind, that I am who I am.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For me, I have to second what Big Raekwon said. My mother and my father, first and foremost, they made countless sacrifices for me to be able to go out and play sports, and watching them work, day in and day out, it drove me to want to be successful at something and want to do something the right way. And like he said, all of my coaches coming through rec league up until high school, man, like, they had a huge influence on my life on, how to do things the right way and how to, go about your work and go about your school and all those good things, man. So just really my whole family circle and this whole community kept me grounded, man. This community is filled with great people. Like like Miss Schofield, Miss McKissick. I can name so many teachers, Mr. McKnight. Like they all had such positive impacts on my life, and looking back on it, man, I would not be who I am without all those people. Because I hit some bumps in the road, and I fell down a couple of times, and people were there to kind of put their arms around me and help me. So without this community and these people, I mean, I don't think I'd get as far as I do.
Mm-hmm. Talk to any young people who are listening about overcoming adversity. I know Brian definitely has a testimony for that, and Raekwon, I'm sure that there's some things that you've experienced along the way that sometimes made you guys want to give up. Even you, Brad. I mean, as you're going through college and you're aspiring to become a strengths coach, and you're realizing, wow, this is intense, and this is something that is really going to take some focus and integrity for me to make it through. Talk a little bit about how I believe those adversities probably drove you all to really push even harder. And I think that young people need to understand that, because sometimes the young people kind of buckle under adversity, or they feel like, it's overwhelming and they can't overcome it. But what's your message to the youth when it comes to that particular, dynamic that they have to deal with in life?
Just dealing with adversity, period. I think we should all look at the challenges that are put in front of us as just part of your story. So what that may be, it might be different for everyone's story. But in my book, it was getting through college and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And the way I just did that was I really put my trust in the Lord. Honestly, I prayed about it. And I know who I am as a person. I feel like it's a big part. You have to know who you are. And if you don't got some type of spunk about you, it's going to be some harder fights in life rather than some easier ones. But you definitely want to be able to understand and just realize some things in life ain't gonna go my way, but I know I can keep pushing forward. I'm just gonna find a different path. You might not be able to go straight, but I sure can take a right, take a left, and get back on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
That would pretty much that'd be my take on that.
For me, in adversity, I faced so many bumps in the road along this journey that I've been on, and things continue to come up. And for me, it was just keep trying. Like, you may fail, and failure is so discouraging, man. Like, you can fail, and failure does something to you, but as long as the sun comes up the next day, you have a chance. And as long as you put the effort in, you put the work in, like, through time, through patience, and through hard work, like, things can be accomplished. Like, you just have to continue to grind and continue to be faithful, man. Continue to have faith in your dream and what you want in life. And it may not be exactly how you want it, but you'll be better for it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I just want to piggyback what Brad and Brian said. You got to pray and ask God, because if you ask, you shall receive. You got to be able to get through that, because you got that weight of everyone depending on you. It's like that's a different weight that you have on yourself. Not only the pressure that you have on yourself, but the pressure that you have from your peers, from your family. You don't want to disappoint them. And when you feel like you're about to disappoint them, when adversity comes, you just shut down. But in those moments, that's when you got to dig deep, pray to God. And that's when you really, like Brad said, know yourself. That's when you get to know yourself, like how you face positive when adversity comes. You know how to deal with it the next time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, man, what you guys just emphasized seems like you're all in sync in terms of type of discipline that you had gotten, and the bumps in the road that you explained about. But you got to pat yourself on the back, because when you're able to get up after those bumps, and if you fall down, that's a huge accomplishment. I'm gonna tell you, there's not too many people. Well, I won't say not too many, but it's a significant amount of people can't do that. It seems like, and those type of people are growing every day. That number of people like that growing every day. Okay,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, when you go through adversity, you just got to look at it as just another step in the road that's going to help you grow. and expand you as much as you can. And so just as adversity, you just got to look at it, smile, and hit it head on. You can't run from it.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to know that it's gonna help you in the future. This what you're going through right now is it's going to prepare you for what you want in your future.
Absolutely, and I can certainly respect your respect for the people who pulled you guys up. Okay, yeah, you mentioned Miss Claudine Schofield and others, Brother Brian. You mentioned them, and I think it's so wonderful. I'm using the word wonderful that you can come back. That's like giving back. You come back and you are giving credit to some people. That encourages them to deal with more people like they did with you. Okay, you're patting them on the back. I mean, that's I think it's very good.
Absolutely. And I know that young people will probably be excited about the mini camp and the idea of being able to work with all of you. And I think that, sometimes when you are faced with success as you all have, there's also there's a bit of an obligation to make sure that young people understand that it's not always glamorous, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll look at you all and say, that's what I want to be. And that's a great thing. But then they also have to understand that, like Raekwon mentioned, he earned his degree, Brad earned a degree, Byron, went through school. And I think we have one more person who's joining us. Can I bring you on the screen? Just shake your head yes, if I can. Is Jalen ready? Is he ready? Brad, you want to reach out to him and see if he's ready?
I can.
The question I have is kind of related to, that side of life and whether or not that's going to be a part of your message to the young people as you work with them, managing their expectations and being realistic about the fact that, even though you all beat the odds and you made it to where you are, that's not always the case. So how will you incorporate a message like that, if you plan to, whenever you're working with these young people with the mini camp?
So the way they interpret that message is you gotta, we're NFL players, and NFL stands for not for long. The life of a regular.
I never heard that one before. I like that one though.
Not for long.
The lifespan in the NFL is 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
And say you get drafted. Let's say you get drafted when you're 23. That's 3 years, and you're out the league, and now you're 26. You got the whole life ahead of you. What are you going to fall back on? Like, I encourage kids to go get that degree while it's free if you can. And if you have a better chance of going early, go ahead, go early, but at least go back and finish it and grab that degree, because you went to school and you can start something in your family as well. If your family never been to college or got a degree, you can start something as well in your bloodline and be the first to do it. Now your kids can see and be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll definitely say get that education, because you never know, an injury can happen as well.
That's true.
And now you're looking like what you're going to do next.
Right. So we have another great from Conway joining us. How you doing, Mr. Moody?
Thank you for having me. Sorry.
All right, you are welcome. I told Brad it's never too late. You can join us at any time. And for those of you who are just tuning in, of course, we're talking today about preparing student athletes for success. And we have a wonderful, wonderful group of young kings, as Coretta Smalls calls them, who joined us today. They're putting on a mini football camp on July the 8th in Conway, Booth and Company. And so I think we should go back around the room so that everyone can reintroduce yourselves, just in case there's some new people in the audience now. And so we'll start with Brad, the mastermind behind all of this.
Yeah. Brad Booth, class of 17, graduate from Limestone University, go Saints. And I am now a strength coach at Lenoir-Rhyne University.
All right. Brian?
Brian Edwards. I graduated from Conway High School in 2016. I played at South Carolina for 4 years, and I now play for the New Orleans Saints.
My name is Raekwon O'Neal, class of 2018 out of Conway High. Went to Rutgers, got my degree, 4 years in art, and a minor in labor studies. And I grad transferred to UCLA, and I was working on my master's in TCO, which is teaching, coaching, leadership. And this past year, I'm an undrafted free agent with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm Jalen Moody. I graduated from Conway 2018. I played my years at Bama, and I'm just here so I can make sure all my boys, we have a good time, and we put on a good show for the kids in the community. You know, it's a lot of great talent back in Conway. We just want to be able to get back and show them that they can do it for real.
Mm-hmm.
So April, this is your mini camp right here.
This is it.
Yes, sir.
This is a mini camp right here.
Yes, sir.
You know.
That's why I'm trying to squeeze out all of this. You know, even young people can be wise now. I'm trying to squeeze out, you know, some great messages because, again, you know, this is Conway, born and raised here, and I think that everyone needs to see them and understand that. Yeah, they are doing big things. Obviously, there was a level of focus, and Brother Edward, I like the word you used earlier, discipline. And just, you know, just striving and being motivated to succeed. And it's wonderful that they are coming back to the community to give back. And, you know, being a student athlete is really hard. It's really hard because you're balancing a number of things. You're balancing an athletic schedule and an academic schedule. And you have to make it all work in order for you to be able to even rise to this level. And we're seeing like mini camps like this pop up around the area, and it's great that they are being introduced by you know, young men and women who have gone on to do some great things, and now they want to come back and show young people who are coming up how to do it. So Jalen, what we were talking about right before you came on board was just that, you know, the mentoring aspect and also managing expectations of young people who aspire to go into pro athletics. But even, you know, from the college standpoint, you know, trying to manage your college experience, it can be quite a transition and an adjustment, especially if you've never been away from home. And I think that young people need that now more than ever because, you know, what statistics shows is that there are some peaks and there's some valleys when it comes down to student motivation to go to college. And also, you know, young people are still trying to figure out what they want to do, whether or not they want the college experience, you know, if they want to delay that experience and go out into the work world. And it's tough no matter what decision you make. You all made the decision to either go to college or enter the NFL draft, you know, finish college, enter whatever, you know, happened for you all. And obviously it's worked out for you in terms of what your measure of success is at this time. And it's great that you're having this mini camp, and our, you know, the hopes from the community is that when these types of events are happening, you're not only just showing them what it means to play good football, but you're also instilling in them some good values, some good insights and motivation to do what they need to do in order to stay on track and stay successful. So Raekwon, Brian, and Brad gave us, you know, their thoughts on all of that. And I don't know if you want to add anything to it, but it would be kind of good to hear from you as far as, you know, what your thoughts are about striving for success and what young people need to understand about that.
Well, I definitely advocate, you know, something my father always preached, you know, take it as far as you can, you know, trying to educate yourself on a different level. You know, I was one of the first ones in my family to at least go to a Power 5 school. And so, you know, I'm fortunate enough to do that and, you know, educate myself on that level. But with that being said, you know, like you said, it's always ups and downs when you go through these type of things, especially in the athletic field and being a student athlete. And so, you know, with that being said, you always want to have some encouragement as young guys and to keep encouraging to keep going. You know, when you hit that rock or you hit that peak where you feel like, you know what I'm saying, it might be a little challenging right now, keep going, you know, because that's really where you learn from most of your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through those and mess up and, you know, and go through those trials so that you can learn from it and grow from it, you know. And all we're trying to do is be an advocate to show you that, look, we've been there, you know, we know exactly what you're going through. You know, you're not going through it alone, and you got somebody that could definitely, you know, go through it with you and help you through those times, you know what I'm saying? And all I'm trying to do is instill in them that, look, all you got to do is just keep going, working hard, and if whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve it. And, you know, we're right there along the way with you, you know, no matter what you're going through or not, you know, you got some supporting staff and some guys that went through it just like you and just showing you that, look, it's a way to make it out, and you can still do what you want to do and still, you know, be successful in life by, you know, going through and achieving those different things that, you know, a lot of us didn't get a chance to experience.
Absolutely. So, Brother Edward, I tell you, it is really, really, as Coretta said, phenomenal to see all of these young men, you know, just bringing it back home with all this great insight. And nothing is a better teacher than experience. And so, obviously, they've all experienced some things that they can truly speak on. You know, like they say, I can show you better than I can tell you. You know, and they've shown what it means to have the discipline and the integrity. And I just want to shout out a few people who are watching so that you all will know what kind of an impact you're having today. We have Corey Wilkes. Thank you, Corey, for watching today. And he says, awesome, good job. Keep inspiring our future generations. Janice Gilliard, thank you so much, cousin, for watching. Janice is in the PA, New Jersey area. Corey, I believe, is in Tennessee. I believe that's where he is. Coretta, she's in the Greenville, South Carolina area. Thank you for watching, Coretta. And Calandra Jones, she's in Columbia, South Carolina. Josephine Burgo, she's in Charlotte. So, y'all, I'm telling you, the message is getting all around. You guys are really making an impact here, and it's wonderful. Yeah, she's in Summit, New Jersey. Thank you, Janice. And so, you know, as you look forward to your mini camp, I know that you have some ideas of what you want the young people to experience, but what do you want their greatest takeaways to be? Like when they leave the camp that day, what do you want them to walk away with that they didn't have before that camp kicked off at 10 a.m.?
What I did want to have, my goal and vision, I should say, I wanted them to know that they probably learned something they didn't know about, or how to do a certain skill, or how to be in a certain position to make a play, how to run a route correctly, how to throw a football, the footwork of the footwork, the mechanics for a quarterback, mechanics for a running back, just simple stuff they probably never had exposure to before that we've probably had through our careers in football. And like I have it in the Camp Beach. I really just want to enhance their skill set. So what I found in my experience as a strength coach, as a young strength coach so far, I've been able to work plenty of camps in the last 3 years. The big thing for my role, mainly, football coaches will tell us, can y'all please get with the group of linebackers or get with the receivers? Teach them the 40 stance. Teach them how to do a 5-10-5. Teach them how to properly jump and land. And I'm sitting here like, wow, these guys are in 12th grade or going into their senior high school trying to get recruited from all these institutions. They don't even know how to do the basic stuff. In my mind, I was like, we can start training early. From my perspective, this will be beneficial to the kids back home that grew up in the same community we came through. And I feel like for Jalen, Ray, and Brian, I'll let them touch on what they want, but I felt like these are some of the best guys that I played with personally that I know can get the job done. So that was why I wanted them to be part of this. I couldn't do it all. I can't do it all. So I wanted them to be a part of this as well. So I'm going to let those guys kind of touch on what they want the last thing for these kids to remember. I also just want them to have a good time.
And I'll touch on, kind of a little what Brad said. Like you said, the main thing really is trying to, give them a different experience that they never had before. I know once we all was growing up, we were really looking for a little bit of that guidance, that mentorship, and, trying to reach the next level and what do we need to do. And so a lot of us was confused and didn't really know what to do. And so, again, like Brad said, teaching them the basics and a lot of, little different things throughout our time being on the next level that we maybe didn't learn when we was back at Conway or back at home. And so now that we know these things, we can implement it in the kids and also allow them to learn and grow and, give them a chance, that we didn't have as a young age, you know what I mean? And like he said, at the end of the day, we're coming out there to have a good time, and enjoy each other's presence. And, again, we're Conway, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to uplift Conway and let everybody know again, we could do it, man. And, with that being said, we're going to come and have a good time, but we're going to work and we're going to teach you different stuff that, you know what I'm saying, you might not see before. It might be a little challenging in the first beginning, but as you keep going and you keep rehearsing these things, it's going to become second nature. You won't have to think about it, Now it's going to be in your bag.
So
Feed off what?
You brothers are already in the NFL. What would you if you had the opportunity to improve something in the NFL, what would if you can't answer it right now, wait another time. But what improvements would you implement or you attempt into the NFL?
Let the vet answer that.
If you don't mind, I'll go back on that. One thing I definitely would say I noticed, and a lot of guys told me coming out of Bama that on the next level, I don't want nobody to be, discouraged that, it's not a possibility that you can't do it. But a lot of times we don't realize that these guys, they've been in for so long. It's a bunch of vets that, they've been playing ball for a long, long time. So they know what they're doing, and they're coming in. The game is still football. It's still the same game we're playing since we've been in rec league. Just except, these guys, they've been doing it for a while. They're pros for a reason. You know what I mean? And so everything they do is to a T. They're not wasting no time, no extra steps. Again, I didn't know this growing up, but now I understand why these dudes get to the ball so fast, why he's in this position so fast, because they put their time in their craft. They're pros, so they're gonna be diligent about what they do with their craft, and making sure that they're in the right position every time. Little things like that, is stuff that I would like to implement as well, because if you're not on your craft and you don't know what you're doing, that's where you're a step behind, and so just little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was you articulated that well. I'll tell you that.
And it means that they're in it and they're learning. They're not just in it and with that tunnel vision about me. You're actually open to learning, and that's a good thing, because when you have that tunnel vision, that's when you make mistakes and make enemies real fast too. But So Brother Edward, I think Raekwon was going to say something right before your question.
Sorry about that, Raekwon.
It's okay.
Oh, no, you good.
Okay.
What I was going to say, I was going to piggyback on what Jalen said about what we want out of the camp. For me personally, for what Brad and what Jalen said, I'm going to add my own too, was to have that resource for the kids. Because we didn't have, we was looking for that resource, like Jalen said. But now they can say, they can get my number and they can call me, I could be a mentor and be like a big brother to them. If they ever need something, I'm there for them. If they ever need questions, help, whatever, I'm there for them. And they can rely on me to be there for them as a resource. And if they can just ask me questions, pick my brain, and there's no such thing as a stupid question.
And that's huge. That's huge, because at the status that you all are at, sometimes people think that you're unreachable and untouchable. To a young person, that's a really big deal.
Right. And one thing I would say too, like Ray said, the message behind I think all of it is really just trying to be a sponge. No matter how old or how far we get with it, you're never too old to learn. You know what I mean? And so even at this age, some of the young kids, they don't understand, but I'm learning from you as well. You know what I mean? You teaching me different things. And so you really want to be able to take everything that that's given to you and what's meant for you, you know what I'm saying? You hold on to that. And the things that's not, you'll let it fall with it. But the main thing is trying to receive as much, as you can, so you can grow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And to just to piggyback off what these guys said, what I want to give to you from the camp is the same thing. I want them to be able to see somebody who comes from the same place they came from, that did well, and that lets them know that they can do the same thing, and that they know someone personally that they can reach out to and be like, how do I get to where I want to go? What are some of the things that I need to do, not just on the field, but in the classroom, in my day-to-day life, because some of us didn't have those things growing up. So being able to give that wisdom to the youth and kind of lead them in the right direction, I feel like if they take anything from being at the camp, I feel like that's one thing I want to give them, is just a sense of direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that you all are well on your way to creating something wonderful and powerful. And this is the first annual, but it won't be the last, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Again, I go back to the fact that it was amazing, just tremendous that you all were able to spend some time with us this evening to talk about your mini camp. And I do want you to focus on the who, what, when, and where. So it's Booth and Company Mini Football Camp. It's happening July the 8th. Brad, tell everybody the time, where it's going to be, and do they need to bring anything? How do they need to prepare for the camp?
So for all camp participants, Rosin 5th to Rosin 12th, will need to bring their own shirts, shorts, and cleats. Snacks and water will be on site for the participants. We will be at the Conway Recreation football field from 10 o'clock to 1 p.m. Check-in will be at 9 a.m. that morning. If it drizzles, we're there. If it's lightning, we will not. We'll try to find another way that day. If it's raining super hard, we're gonna find another way that day. It might be a refund situation, but what we're really looking forward to is football. So, like, I've been thinking about the weather during this time of the year. If it drizzles, we are there. So I don't want anybody to be discouraged by weather unless it is a serious inclement of weather. But we are out there, 10 to 1, Conway Rec, be there. Sign your youth up. It's going to be a fun time. We got some great guys coming out there to help. And I think it's going to be a huge event for the city. We already have 20 plus signed up. So this is going to be great.
And that was going to be my next question. Do you have a cap for that? Or
I do not.
Okay.
I do not have a cap for this. The spots are always available.
Okay. All right. That's
Well,
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the drizzle, if you're going to do it in the drizzle, that should tell you something, because they do it in the NFL. If it's just drizzling, you're going to be playing. There's no such thing, right?
Yeah,
All
that
right.
was the thing
I
wanted to
would,
hit for
yeah.
sure.
Brad, there's a question coming from Janice. She says, is there an opportunity to sponsor someone?
Of course, we're always looking for sponsors for the event personally. We are. And if you want to sponsor one, yes, you can do so.
Okay.
I will have to get further information from any participant if they need help to sponsor. But like I said, we're always welcome to more. Always welcome to more.
And if you will provide us with that information, we will post that information for you on all of our social media sites and also YouTube. And she's going to give me her email address, and I will connect with you, Brad. And if there's anyone else who wants to do that as well, please let us know. We'll get that information to Brad, and he can take it from there. But is there anything else you all want to say before you part? We don't want to keep you too long. We know you all are super busy. And again, we're just, excited and very grateful that you all took the time to be with us tonight. So I know you want to give some special shout outs before we go. So we'll let you do that. But is there anything else you want to say as far as, your message to the youth or anybody who's listening about, what we talked about tonight, but also, what you want them to know about what you've learned along the way and how they can use that same insight to set their goals and reach success the way that they see success.
Just to start it off, I want everybody to know, even from my perspective, this is how I look at it. Like, the game that we all truly love and we will put our heart into is not always going to be there for everybody. So I always use myself as an example. You have to find another passion of yours. Always have that backup plan. I think that goes a long way. Everybody wants plan A, and there's guys who tell you there's no other plan but plan A. Yeah, that's the case most of the time. That is the case most of the time, especially if you put the work in. Whatever you want is yours. Unfortunately for me, I didn't do everything I should have done as far as my initial goal, but I always knew if one thing didn't work out, I always have something to fall back to. My last passion is always to help people and reach back out. Peers of mine or the younger generation, or any just young, the youth period. I'm always willing to help out the youth. I always have a passion for that. So strength and conditioning was my calling. I know it was. So if you have that dream and you don't feel like your dream's ever going to work out, this is a message to everybody. Just please never be discouraged don't ever call yourself a failure, not a failure. There's always another way to make it. You just got to find what you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I'll just add to that, is keep God first, stay prayed up, and stay in that Bible as well.
Yeah, and same thing like Brad said, I just want to encourage everybody that, look, when you reach that, that wall, that's not the end. A lot of times we look at the moment at itself right now, like, oh, I'm down. But, it's going to be a brighter day is coming, you know what I mean? And so I just want to encourage them, keep going, man. Even when you hit that wall, like Ray said, find somebody or a mentor or somebody that you got that you can lean on and, you know, encourage you to, you know, uplift you. And that's what we're here for, you know, to really just be in your corner for anything that you need and just let you know that, you know, we got your back and that you can still make it.
Absolutely.
You know, I just want to, you know, piggyback off what they said. If you got a dream, you know, give it your all, chase it. You know, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. And, you know, you got people around you, whether it be your family, whether it be, you know, your loved ones. There's always somebody you can talk to, always somebody, you know, that'll be there for you. But if you got a dream, man, hold on to it, chase it, and, you know, hope for the best.
Mhm.
Yeah. And one last thing, also, your resource, connect with other people. You use network. You walk into a room, you don't know who's in that room. You don't know who they know or what they know. Shake people's hands. Be nice to everybody because you might need them in the
Absolutely.
future.
Ooh,
So
that's
Absolutely.
shake their hands and connect with them. Look them in the eye, give them that firm handshake. Introduce yourself. No matter, just introduce yourself. At least get your name out there and stay connected because in this business, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yep.
And
Oh.
that could just open a lot of doors itself.
Classy, man. That's classy.
Ooh, that is classic. Getting your brother Edward, I'm
I'm
telling you.
saying, I told you we interviewed him once before. He just didn't know. That's classy, man. But look, look, I just want to leave one thing to your brothers that was told to me one time that if you don't have any failures, you better be concerned.
Mhm.
Okay. You really better be concerned. If you go through things and with no failures, you better be concerned. You'll have nothing to learn from.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
So very true. So very true. So, well, we just want to say thank you all for being with us tonight. And I will definitely get the information to those of you who are watching. And I wanted, you know, more information about sponsoring youth for the mini camp.
Mhm.
I will get your information to Brad, and I'm sure he'll reach out to you as soon as possible. I want to thank all of the listening and viewing audience for watching and tuning in. Hopefully, this won't be the last time we have Booth and Company on the screen. And we're going to be watching for all y'all football season, okay? I got to figure out what my new favorite team is. It's going to have to be a combination of all of y'all. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I appreciate what you're doing, and congratulations to all of you. It makes Conway look really, really good.
Yeah.
There's some great things coming out of Conway, and people just need to stand up and recognize. And, you know, we wish you all the success in the world, and that God be with you and keep you healthy and strong as you continue to strive for your goals and your dreams. And I think it was Coretta who said earlier that your public speaking skills are off the chain. I love it. You know what?
Yeah.
We don't
Really.
right? We don't know how to speak. Our children don't know how to do this. You all are proving that is so wrong, and especially as young men. And so continue to do that and instill those kinds of lessons in the young people as you work with them as well. Because just like Ray said, you know, it's more than just the gridiron. It's the interpersonal skills that will get you a long, long way if you have some strong interpersonal skills. So thank you, Audrey, Vereen, Hemingway, for watching tonight. We appreciate you. And so, Brother Edward, do you have anything else before we let these young men go and do what they have to do?
They've said it all. Okay. No, I'm serious. I told you we had a mini camp. Our mini camp was right here.
Yes, absolutely.
We had a
Absolutely.
mini camp. But we just
It's
the
the
next
kid
time
from
I'm going
town.
to say this: the next time you come on, maybe your mini camp will go more than one day. I'm sure. If okay.
Definitely.
Speaking into existence, yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Before we leave, I do want to say I appreciate y'all having us on, and I definitely appreciate Brian and Jalen Ray for being here today on taking their time out of their busy schedules. I feel like shout out to Conway. It takes a village, so shout out to the village for definitely backing us up on this. Signing up kids urgently. We did it in a week. We had
Wow.
like 10 people sign up the first week, and I think that was within the first 3 days. And we're at 20 plus right now. We still got spots open. This would not be possible without the 3 guys on here and the many more that are coming. I got a guy, Josh Simmons from Charleston, coming up. My guy, Lawrence Williams from King Street, coming up. Hopefully got my old college quarterback coming down to help out. So without these guys, none of this would be possible. And I'm like excited for July 8th, not only for the 8th, but what the future holds. This is something we've been talking about. I've been connected to these guys for years. Even through college, we all went up to school. No, we did not talk every day of the week, every month. We'll get on the game here and there. We'll talk about how we're doing here to there. I've even stopped in and seen some of these guys. So I feel like I just really want to get that off. I appreciate y'all big time. Y'all understand. But that's
Appreciate y'all, bro.
today.
Appreciate y'all,
Hey,
man.
Listen. Use that hashtag, just the kid from Conway, baby.
I love that.
Just the
Mr.
kid from
Kid Conway. I love that.
Conway.
That is absolutely wonderful. So I'm gonna give you like a couple of seconds. We're gonna go around the table. Why don't you guys give a shout out to whoever you want to at this time?
Okay. Go ahead, Brad.
Oh,
Go ahead, Brad.
first, shout out to the guys. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my family. Like I said, shout out to Conway as a community. We appreciate y'all for backing us and sharing all the love. Definitely. I appreciate everyone. So shout out to my parents as well, just for being my background. Shout out to my family, all of them.
Yeah. I like you. Shout out to God first and foremost.
Always.
To my family, to the coaches that I grew that helped me grow up, to any coach that helped me along the way, or anybody that I met along the way. And I'd like to give a shout out to y'all as well for having us. Thank y'all so much. We really
Absolutely,
appreciate
man.
it. All love.
Y'all love. First, I would like to, like Ray said, thank God, for my opportunity, just being able to be here. Shouting out, like you said, all the people who have helped me along the way to achieve, what I have achieved. I appreciate you guys. I might not get a chance to tell you all the way to your ear, but you're appreciated. I want you to know that. And shout out to my mom, my dad, Greg, Keith, and Moody, love y'all. My grandma, happy birthday to my aunt today. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for the 8th. So I'm planning on seeing you guys out there and have a great day.
Hey, yo, your aunt Pam will be shout out. Tell us.
But I want to say, shout out to just everybody in the community, anybody who helped me along the way, anybody, coaches, teachers, anybody, guidance counselors, all the whole nine. But shout out to my family. I want to thank God for, just bringing us all together and enjoying this moment. And yeah, man, I'm grateful and I'm just happy that this event is going on.
Man, this has been great. It's
been beautiful.
Really, yeah, and what you guys have been expounded so far, that's want to say this. Nothing against Father Time, but I think 20 years ago I'll say 25 years ago in the NFL, I didn't notice the articulation that you guys are expounding. It seemed like each generation, you're making us proud, okay, as they show up, and but they had to start from somewhere, and I really respect the guys in the past. They really built the bridges for you all, I believe. Okay, a lot of stuff they had to go through, man, with contract negotiating and stuff like that, and of course they weren't making the kind of money that you all are probably making, but we're thankful for that. Okay, we're thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys take care. Brad, thank you so much for bringing the fellas on. Just a kid from Conway. I love that hashtag, and we're going to do something special with that just to represent all of you. And if there's anything you need, Brother Edward, can you put this on your calendar to try and cover it on July the 8th if you're around town?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Put it in the magazine for everybody to see. Folks around Conway love reading the World Community Magazine. They love to see what's going on. And so
July 8th, mini camp.
Yep, from 10 to 1.
Booth and Company.
Booth and Company. Well,
Booth and Company.
Yes, Booth and Company. So we're going to go to a really quick commercial break. Again, fellas, thank you so much. And we'll come right back. And Brother Errol, we're going to talk about a special wise elder in the community who just celebrated his 94th birthday. 94th birthday. I believe he can take any of y'all. I believe he can take any of y'all. I think he can play linebacker. He can play. He's a bad man, I'm telling you. So we're going to celebrate him a little bit in just a moment, but we'll be right back after this commercial break.
All right.
This is Jerome McQueen of Academics, the national movement to encourage our young people to choose STEM as a career aspiration.
I had a really great biology teacher. She was like nationally recognized. She got to meet President Obama.
So this year I'm working with 3D printing, actually being able to use my skills from A&T to design things on the computer and actually see them become a physical part.
Brother Edward.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
We appreciate that.
Talk about the Summer Jobs Program. What's going on with that?
Well, I can, in a nutshell, it's coming well, coming along well. Funding has always been tight, but sometimes when you see what's ahead for the future, you really can't let funding get in your way. When you know what I mean, it'll be there, but you can't let it hinder you from shaping the future with our youth. And we're starting from ages 14 to 17. Those are good shaping ages. Yeah. We believe getting them ready for the workforce. I mean, ideally, we'd like to see them have their own entrepreneurial skills and open up their own businesses and stuff like that. Okay, and that's not too far fetched. Okay, by saying that, but you got to start somewhere. At least they'll have the discipline of working, receiving a paycheck, and and all of the requirements for holding a job. Okay, that's important, and we want to instill that in them, and let them see a paycheck every Friday, which is the way we have it scheduled up. But yeah, I can't say enough about them.
Absolutely. And we're going to feature some more photos and videos throughout the summer of these young people who have been placed in certain positions around the area. So stay tuned for that. But to round out tonight's show, again, we had a special young man who celebrated his 94th birthday, Juneteenth, as a matter of fact. And
absolutely
most appropriate. My uncle, Reverend Dr. Liney B. Chestnut, and his family organized a wonderful drive-by parade. You know, those parades became popular during COVID when we really couldn't gather and, you know, celebrate with one another in close proximity. And so they keep doing it for him every single year. And we just want to say happy birthday, Uncle Lonnie. And we hope that God blesses you with many more. When I say he is still dapper at 94, getting around and doing exactly what he needs and wants to do, he's got it going on. He really does.
He can brag about it too.
Yeah,
he'll brag about it.
Start dressing and everything. I mean, he is on point. And his wonderful daughter, my cousin Cassandra, is taking good care of him and making sure that, you know, he stays on the up and up, and he's doing everything he's supposed to do. He's still, you know, praying and delivering sermons on Sundays when he's invited at Friendship. And we have a couple of pictures from the actual celebration. This is he's sitting on his front porch here, and members of his family, including his daughter Barbara. I think that's his cousin Joe, and I'm not sure who that young lady is in the picture right there, but here's a couple more pictures. Bonnie Edie helped to coordinate the Ward Circle drive-by parade.
Bonnie was doing a great job there.
She's doing a good job now. She's all about the circle, and then members of Uncle Lonnie's family here on his front porch, and that's just a small section of the Chestnut.
That's a
very small section of the Chestnut family. As a matter of fact, Janice, who was participating tonight, we found out that we're related, and she is definitely in the Chestnut line. So yes, Reverend Uncle Lonnie is family, so that's wonderful. And we certainly do appreciate all that everyone did to make him feel wonderful. And if you're listening, Uncle Lonnie, happy birthday to you. And
94th birthday. Happy 94th.
94 years old. That's right. I won't have Brother Edward to do the Stevie Wonder version tonight. We're going to give him a break tonight, unless he wants to do it.
No, I think I'll let him slide. I'll let him slide tonight.
Yeah, so we definitely wanted to share that, and happy birthday wishes. And Brother Edward, this has been a great show. I was looking forward to this show.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to this show. And look at Coretta. Coretta says her adopted grandfather. I know that's right. You find all kinds of family in the live stream. I love that. But it was a great show tonight, and we have another wonderful show lined up for next week. We will have Jonathan Bennett of Renewing Minds Mentoring and Counseling Services. And Jonathan used to be a counselor with A Father's Place and branched off to start his own counseling service. And he's doing a tremendous job in the community, mentoring young people through a family system. So it's more than just, you know, tapping a counselor for mentoring for an individual. His belief is that when you are counseling a young person, you have to counsel the whole family and bring in, you know, those family dynamics to help make the counseling session successful. So we're going to have Jonathan on next week to talk about the importance of mentoring and its relationship to mental health. He will talk about, you know, some of the things that he offers through his counseling services. And then we'll kind of go over, you know, some of the things that families need to be aware of when it comes down to their youth and the youth in their households, and how, you know, family dynamics plays a really big part in their development and their growth and success in the future. And just like the young men talked about in the previous segment, you know, they all have very strong support systems. They're blessed. You're blessed when you have a strong support system. A lot of people don't have that. You know, when you think about the fact that some people are, you know, living lives and they have no one to turn to and nowhere to go.
Yeah, just think about that.
I mean, that's the struggle. That if you just have a helping hand or someone who shows that they care and that they're listening and they hear you and they want to help, it can help you to overcome a lot of barriers. And, you know, for our young people, it's getting harder and harder every single day with so many influences and influencers out there. You know, they're coping with a lot. So Jonathan is going to be on the show. This is a family program as far as that particular topic is concerned. So if you know anyone who's looking for some mentoring for their young people, especially males, he does mentoring for males and females. But, you know, since we can continue this theme here, because it was great to see those young kings. And we definitely want to let people know that there is help and support out there. Jonathan, again, is doing an amazing job. And he was another one that was really hard to get because, he's just that busy because people are really finding out about what he does. And it's like, it's long overdue. This is what we needed. And he's going to be with us next Tuesday night. So, make some time, sit in on the broadcast, take in this valuable information. And if you need to, you can always contact Jonathan. He has his counseling office located, I think, in or near downtown Conway, which is exceptional in itself because I'm always going to clap for Black-owned businesses. And so I'm glad that he's in the heart of Conway doing some wonderful things. And so thank you in advance, Jonathan, for agreeing to be on the show. And if you are watching, please pass on the message. We will have Jonathan Bennett with Renewing Minds Mentoring and Counseling on next week's show. So
all right.
Sure, we'll have some other stuff, Brother Elwood, but
hey, April, and to our viewers, don't forget to vote next Tuesday. Is a big runoff.
The 27th big runoff,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, big runoff election and special election seat.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so make sure you get out.
City council position.
Conway City Council. Mm-hmm.
Conway City Council.
Yeah. What else is going on? Anything else they need to know? Well, there were a lot of Juneteenth celebrations. We will compile some pictures and video and show a few highlights maybe next week, Brother Elwood. Does that sound good?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But and like Bonnie says, do early voting. If you know you can't make it and you have a plausible reason or whatever, go ahead and vote early. Get it out of the way. Yeah,
out of the way.
Excellent advice. So it's been great hanging out with you, Brother Elwood. I really appreciated it tonight. Enjoyed it.
It was great with you having Brother Kendrick on first. Tell my brother he did a good job.
He did. I talked him through it. He got on to it.
Yeah.
Got to it or whatever. And
call her like that.
Yeah. So, he was able to engineer it for me until I got here. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We want to thank all of you from near and far. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week if God says so.
That's right. Same time, 7 p.m.
Same time, 7 p.m. So everyone take care.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner.